LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. I am going live. Let me move my chair back. You hear that weird noise scratching. And let me double check my sound. Okay, good. We're good. I just wanted to make sure it was perfect before I started, because this is actually my third time reading this book. So in the first two times, I didn't get the quality. My voice wasn't getting picked up. So this is my third time. Third time's a charm. So it's me, LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. And I will be reading I Funny School of Laughs by James Patterson, author of the #1 New York Times bestseller I Funny, and Chris Grabstein. This is a good book, and it was gifted to me from a really nice lady here in Marietta, Georgia. Thank you so much for this book and this one, uh, and this one. I'm choosing to share this one out loud first. It's so funny. So once again, I Funny School of Laughs by James Patterson. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Jimmy. Like me, you probably noticed the world is run by adults. But ask yourself, who would do the best job of making books that kids will love? Yeah, kids. So that's how the idea of books came to life. We want every Jimmy book to be so good that when you're finished, you'll say, please give me another book. That's how I'm feeling now about this book. Give this one a try and see if you agree. If not, you're probably an adult. So if you don't like this book, you're probably an adult. The boring kind. There's nothing wrong with being an adult. I'm an adult, but there's a difference between the boring adults. Look. I Funny School of Laughs. It's got pictures too. For this to be like I think this might be a junior book, considered junior but not young adult. But here it is. Chapter 1, Dead Man Rolling. Dog, what a title. What a way to start a title. This is a children's book. Dead Man Rolling. Hi everybody, I'm Jamie Grimm. And here are a couple of things you should know about me right away. Since these will probably be my last days on Earth, why would you open up a book with sorrow? I am a comedian. Two of my cousins, Stevie Cosgrove, is going to kill me this coming Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Okay, he's about to die. Yep, like a carton of milk, I have an expiration date because Friday nights at 8 is when my new TV show, Jamie Funny, airs on BNC TV. And this time, Stevie might actually have a pretty good reason to destroy me. You see, just for yucks, we're shooting an episode making fun of Long Beach Middle School's longest running bully. We're halfway through the first season of Jamie Funny, which tapes in New York. And guess what? My sitcom is a huge hit. Almost as big as the first Stevie Cosgrove was going to hit me with almost as big as the fists. Oh no, Stevie Cosgrove is going to hit me with when he sees this Friday's episode about Skeevy Musgrove. He's gonna get punched in the face. Guess we should have discussed his name better, huh? My good friend Gilda Gold is directing the Skeevy episode. Our best buds, Joey Gaynor and Jimmy Pierce, are playing my best buds, Joey and Jimmy. Yeah, the TV show is kind of based on my life. It makes things easier and much more dangerous. Quiet on the set, Gilda, and action. We start the scenes. Congratulations, Jamie, says Gaynor sitting in the front row. You won the Teacher for the Day contest. Da 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 da. Turns out Gaynor is actually a pretty decent actor. Way better than me. Jimmy Pierce, well, he's a brainiac. He more of less mumbles most of his lines. Yay, Jimmy. Pierce mumbles, "Congratulations, man." Actually, it sounds more like, "Yeah, man, math calculations ham," which is sort of funny. So Gilda doesn't call cut, and the scene keeps going. You know, people who are really cool, but they mumble their words, unfortunately, so it sounds like they're saying totally two different things when they're not. That's what he just said this boy does in his movie. But they like it anyways, nonetheless, because it's funny. "Class," I say, popping a willy, "as teacher for the day, I hereby outlaw homework for the rest of the year." "Whoa," says Gaynor, totally in character. "Can you do that?" "Today I am a teacher. Today I can do anything." "Even if it's about tomorrow?" asks the actress playing Jill the Jewel, who's sort of my love interest on the show. Not that I have all that much interest in the mushy junk the writers keep coming up with. And yes, she's kind of sort of based on Gilda Gold. "Teachers are like Roman emperors," I say. "You mean they're all dead?" Wow. Ha 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 ha. Snarls the burly kid playing Skeevy Musgrove. "Just like you?" Oh no. Gilda gives Skeevy actor a cue to raise his gigantic pea shooter, which is about the size of an Amazonian blowgun. "It's time to play dodgeball with spitballs." Oh, that's so gross. I can't stand spitballs. He shouts as the prop guy uses an off camera air cannon to blast wet paper wads at me. I duck, dart, dodge, rock and roll to avoid all the incoming projectiles. They splat on the wall behind me and sort of ooze their way down. It's gross, which means it's funny. Ugh. Skeevy goes to reload. As teacher for the day, I say as fast as I can, "I hereby declare that it's time for dessert." All the kids on the set pop open their lunch boxes and pull out cream pies. Then everyone hurls them at Skeevy. He is creamed by 18 different pies, all of them made out of 100% whipped cream. Gloppy, foamy goop cover his head and dribbles down to plop onto his lap. Plop. He looks like a whipped cream abominable snowman. And that, class, I pronounce, is another way to silence a bully. Fill his pie hole with pie. That's funny. Okay, so here's a couple of pictures that went along throughout this chapter. I'll show you those really quick. It's them on the set, practicing, rehearsing their lines, going over their lines, and actually executing their lines for the set. So these are actual real life kids recreating their lives on the real TV show. And here's the second page of the actual apple pie fight, cream pie fight that the kids have. They use cream pies to deal with their bully on the TV show set. It's on the TV show set. They're showing how they will safely and kind of humanely deal with their bullies. They would imagine themselves throwing cream pies at their bullies, so they reenacted their dream of handling their bully through the TV show. It's so funny. Look at him. He's covered, man. No, we're on to chapter two. Chapter two. That's not a sandwich. That's a wrap. I like that. You ever go to Subway and you're like, "I just want a sandwich"? What's a sandwich wrap? Is it like a sandwich wrap, a two in one? I just want a sandwich. I don't want a two in one thing. Yeah, I just want a sandwich, not a sandwich wrap, please. Chapter two. "Okay, everybody," says Gilda. "That's a cut and a wrap. Episode number 11 is in the can. We'll edit it, sweeten the soundtrack, and air it on Friday. After that, Jamie Funny is officially on a 5-week hiatus." The studio audience cheers. The cast and crew cheer too. We've been working pretty hard on the show for 3 months straight. Wow, that's a long time to be working on the project without a break. Now that we all get to take a well-earned vacation instead of being tutored on the set, next week Gilda Gaynor, Pierce, and I will be heading back to Long Beach Middle School, where the real Stevie Musgrove still reigns supreme. But these days, Stevie Cosgrove shares his head bully duties with Lars Jonasson. an eighth grade giant who moved to Long Island from Minnesota. Dun, dun, dun. Lars is so big, I think he used to be Minneapolis. Wow. So two big bullies have officially joined his real school. Great. Um, it'll be weird going back to a real middle school. A real middle school. It'll be weird going back to a real middle school instead of the fake one on the Jamie Funny set. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. Middle school is where I've always found my best material. It's also where I first ate my mystery meat, had my head stuffed into a toilet, no, and learned that there are three kinds of people in this world: those who are good at math and those who aren't. But hey, it all turned into a pretty good punchline. Life has really changed for my friends Gaynor, Pierce, and Gilda too. Gaynor has earned enough money to help out his mom, who is still recuperating from a bout with cancer. He's also bought himself a couple of new nose studs. One sparkles so much it looks like an electronic zit. Zzz, zzz. Pierce, our resident genius, is saving his Jamie Funny paychecks to bankroll his college education. That's smart too. At Harvard and MIT. He wants to go to both at the same time. They are actually quite close to each other, he tells me. I, of course, may need to purchase a hoverboard for the commute between campuses, or a drone. I need to crunch some numbers to determine which one would be most efficient. Gilda, well, she already won a full scholarship to study filmmaking at UCLA. She's going to use the money she's made directing episodes of Jamie Funny to finance her first independent film feature. Oh. For me, I'm putting away a big chunk of my money in what I call my medical miracle fund. Gotten pretty good with my wheelchair, but who knows? Maybe someday there will actually be a cure for what ails the bottom half of me. Maybe aliens will land and their doctors will have a way to zap my spinal cord to make it work again. If they do, I want to be financially ready, just in case alien doctors don't accept most forms of major medical insurance. Smart. I'm also doing everything I can to help my Uncle Frankie keep his diner running, because, well, he always does everything he can to help me. I even offered to buy him a new jukebox, a deluxe sound speakers that can stream the latest radio hits. That sounds so nice. Thanks, but no thanks, kiddo. Uncle Frankie told me vinyl doo-wop and music and harmonies. And yep, Uncle Frankie hates rap. You just can't yo to it, he says. I've also been helping at Smileyville, which is what I call my aunt and uncle's house. That's where I live, in the garage. He lives in the garage, y'all. Okay, let's be like Harry Potter. Live in the little attic under the stairs. Oh boy. Okay, let's see here. I've also been helping out at Smileyville, which is what I really which is what I call my aunt and Uncle Smiley's house. That's where I live, in the garage. Actually, it's more like my personal Jamie cave, with remote control gliding doors, a jumbo flat screen TV, and my red Mustang convertible roommate. A fridge and microwave for late night nachos or s'mores, and all kinds of gardening gear. Need a weed whack? I'm your guy. Smiley isn't my aunt and uncle's real last name. I just call them that because they seldom smile. They're missing the grin and chuckles gene too. Their real name is Cosgrove, as in Stevie Cosgrove. Yep, Long Beach Middle School's meanest bully is their son, making him my cousin, which will make it super easy for him to cream me on Friday night when his character gets creamed on Jamie Funny. Oh, that. So not only do the school bully that bullies this poor child, bullies him at school, but it's his real life cousin, and they live together in the house under one roof. I'm going to backpedal and show you the pictures that came with chapter 2. This is chapter 2. That's not a sandwich, it's a wrap. Here here's the pictures of the two bullies he's referring to that are now at his school. Not only do he have to deal with one bully, he's got to deal with two. I like that there's pictures throughout this book. And here is he's thinking about his future and where his friends will be after they graduate and start using some of the money that they earned from making their TV show. That's on page 10. If you guys have the book and are following along with me. Let's see. And here's the final page of chapter 2. His house. Home is where the psycho is. Oh my gosh. Dun, dun, dun. Home is where the psycho is. And I think it's funny because the way the words are stitched in here, it's like it's supposed to be like home is where the heart is, but it's not. There's words on his wheelchair. I'm going to point it out to you. There's words on his wheelchair. Now I'm going to read them to you. It says, if you can read this, I'm not impressed. Most people can read. I like that. Chapter 3, Pie in the Sky Ideas. Since I can't stop the Earth's rotation, hey, I can't even walk. Poor, poor baby. Friday nights roll around right on schedule. I have to read that line one more time. It's really nice. Since I can't stop the Earth's rotation, hey, I can't even walk. Friday nights rolls around right on schedule. We order pizza for dinner, which means I have to answer the door because the pizza delivery guy, Tony, is a budding stand-up comic. He likes to try out his jokes on me. I don't mind. Every comic needs a chance to work on his material. When I was starting out, I used to recite my routines to seagulls and pigeons. I didn't have friends neither, but I don't recall talking to seagulls and pigeons. Ah, when I was starting out, I used to recite my routines to seagulls and pigeons. And yes, if birds don't like your jokes, they will poop on your shoes. Oh, poor boy. Hiya, Jamie, Tony says when he comes to the door with 3 pepperoni pies. Good to be here, you know? When Mrs. Smiley called in the pizza order, she wondered if it would be long. I told her, no, it'll be round. Tony looks around behind nervously. So is your cousin Stevie home? Not yet. I think he's still shaking down a few sixth graders behind the 7-Eleven. Ah, well, no. Good. I'm not saying Stevie's dumb. But one time I asked him if he wanted his pizza cut into 6 slices or 12. He said 6. I'm not hungry enough to eat 12. Wow. Okay. I laugh. Tony smiles. You like my new material? Keep working on it. I said because I remember some of my early jokes. They came right out of the books for first graders too. The only way to get better at anything is to practice, practice, practice. Tony takes off. I wheel the pizzas into the dining room where we wolf down dinner, then settle into our usual spots in the living room for Jamie Funny. Mrs. Smiley cozies up on the couch with Mr. Smiley. Stevie's little brother and sister perch on ottomans. I just sit where I park. Good news, good news. Stevie still isn't home and may live to laugh another day. You know, says Mrs. Smiley, who just reads the show's last pilot synopsis in TV Guide. I think it's wonderful that you're playing a teacher in this episode, Jenny. Your grandmother would have been so proud. She, of course, is talking about my mom's mom, who was also her mom. That's basically how you become an aunt. Your grandmother was a teacher, Mrs. Smiley says, third through fifth grades. I nod because I remember my grandma. even though she passed away 2 years before my mom and dad and baby sister did too. So this boy this boy that we're reading about, he's pretty much an orphan. He lost his whole family, his grandmother, his mother, his father, and baby sister in reality. So he's using comedy to deal with his pain, a healthy way to grieve. Yup, she was definitely a teacher, grumbles Mr. Smiley. That's why we never had any money. Wow. Well, says Mrs. Smiley with a believe it or not, the hint of a smile, that didn't matter to her. Mom always said, instead of making money, I'm trying to make a difference. And that's what Aunt Jamie's doing too. And that's what Jamie's doing too. With his TV show, he's teaching kids all kinds of important lessons. And then she pops up off the couch and kisses me on the cheek. We're all so proud of you, gushes Mrs. Smiley. I blush. All this praise might have gone to my head, except that's when Stevie comes in the front door. Where's my pie? He hollers. In the pizza box, his little brother shouts back. I don't want pizza, says Stevie as he stumps into the kitchen. I hear the refrigerator door jiggle open. Stevie marches into the living room with a frozen Mrs. Jane's apple pie that he must have yanked out of the freezer. I want this kind of pie, just in case anything bad happens to a certain character on Jamie Not So Funny Tonight. Oops. I think Stevie saw the sneak peek of tonight's episode on YouTube. He tosses the frozen pie up and down in his hand, like he's weighing a cinder block. I have a funny feeling this one apple pie is going to hurt a lot worse than all the cream pies in Boston. Oh, great. So his cousin is planning to hit this poor boy in the wheelchair with a completely whole frozen apple pie if he doesn't like the TV show. And of course, he's not going to like the TV show. Chapter Three's Pictures. This is the pizza scene where he picks up his pizzas and the comedian, what is it, the pizza delivery guy who wants to be a comedian in his future. They both talk about jokes and stuff. I'll read what they say. Now how to fix Now how to fix a broken pizza. Know how to fix a broken pizza? With tomato paste. What does an aardvark like on its pizza? Anchovies. Jeez, these jokes are cheesy. That's what he's thinking. And here's the other picture where his bully of a cousin is threatening to cream him with a frozen pie if he doesn't like the episode about him. That's his aunt and uncle and all that stuff. That's terrible. He's sweating. Dude, we're already on chapter 4. Let's keep going. Chapter 4, School Days. Fortunately, Unsmiley saved me from Stevie's frozen disgust. Let's see. Fortunately, Unsmiley saved me from Stevie's frozen discus to the face. Yep, that's the word. You put that pie back in the freezer this instant, young man, she told him. I'm saving it for Thanksgiving. Yes, if I'm still alive, I'm going to be extremely thankful when that holiday rolls around. Unfortunately, Aunt Smiley can't protect me from her son and his bubbly Lars at school. But that's okay. If Stevie and Lars try to bully me, I'll hit them with a punchline. I figure it's called that because making the bully double over with laughter means he'll have a harder time punching you. When I rolled through the front doors of Long Beach Middle School for the first time in months, I noticed that things have definitely changed. Not the smell. It still reeks of antiseptic hand soap mixed with dirty mop water and taco fixings. Ugh. That's so descriptive. That's how our middle school used to smell. And school in general. And hospitals. And antiseptic hand soap mixed with dirty mop water and taco fixings. I wouldn't say taco fixings, but it did sure smell like a hodgepodge of different foods from Mexican food to hamburgers and greasy fries. So it was a mix of food that it smelled like. It didn't necessarily smell like one thing. Let's hustle, children. Oh, what's this? I skipped something. Hang on, guys. Let's see. Now, the first thing that struck me as different is the vice principal, aka the school's head disciplinarian, standing guard at the door. It's not Mr. Sour Patch, the old guy who used to glare at every kid first thing every morning. It's Mrs. Somebody I've never met. Let's hustle, children, she barks. Put some pep in your step. Except you, kid in the wheelchair. Pump some rubber. We need to improve our hallway traffic flow rating. Oh my gosh, she's mean. All of a sudden, Stevie Cosgrove and Large Jonathan chased a skinny sixth grader down the hall, right in front of the new vice principal. I say to the new vice principal, aren't you going to give those two eighth grade bullies a detention for picking on that sixth grader? Negative. I have my orders. I'm just the vice principal. Gotta do what the big man tells me to do. She gives me a look. Wait a second. You're Jimmy Grimm, that funny boy from TV. I smile. Because, hey, it's always cool to be recognized. Yeah, I say as modestly as I can. Would you like an autograph? No! I would like for you to quickly and effectively make your way to your first period class. You are blocking my avenue of ingress. This is a hallway, not a stallway. Ouch. Move it, Mr. Grimm. Hustle. I want to see skid marks. Skirt. Yes, ma'am. I say. I even salute. Yes, ma'am. My high captain. Bark, bark, bark. I pump my arms furiously and zoom around the corner, then hit a roadblock. Two of them, actually. Stevie and Lars. Wow, so this new vice principal is a piece of work. This is him envisioning how his future Thanksgiving will be once he survives it after the TV show. The picture says, and thank ye for not allowing yon bully slay me. That's funny. Next picture in chapter 4 is the picture of the vice principal, the new vice principal, and the two bullies chasing after a poor sixth grader. There's the new vice principal. She's like, go back to class. No running. Do your work. So the picture says, help me. This is a no bully zone. Incorrect. This is a no running zone. Slow it down. What about the guys chasing him? They're simply healthy young boys blowing off a little steam. Okay, she's terrible. She's completely missing the bigger picture. Poor boy's under attack. And she's like, don't worry about it. Get to class. Chapter 5. Booking it. My worst nightmares are standing in the hallway with their hands on my worst nightmares are standing in the hallway with their hands on their hips, glaring at me, the way hungry lions glare at gazelles. Is it gazelles or gazelles? The two of them side by side are so wide there's no way I'm getting around them. Welcome back to our world, Crip. Aw, they're teasing him, says Stevie, 'cause he's crippled. They call him Crip for short. We missed you, joke boy, Ed Lars. Really, I squeaked. I missed you guys too. Hey, I have an idea. Let's keep on missing each other. Just pretend I'm not here. Oh, you won't be here, says Lars. Not when we're through with you. Yeah, says Stevie. You'll be in the emergency room. What a way to start the day. Now with Folger's coffee book, getting beat up by a bully. No thanks, I say. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt and the hospital gown. Oh my gosh. Is he making a joke, Lars whispers to Stevie. No, snarls Stevie. He is a joke, and I'm about to give him a punchline. He balls up his fist. Thank you guys, I said with a smile. You've been a great crowd, but I've got to go. I pivot backward. Tip up my wear heels, my wear reels, spin around, and race down the hall as fast as my arms can push me. Stevie and Lars lumber after me. Come back here, Jamie, shouts Stevie. We're going to break your face, adds Lars. Slow down, Grim. You've got wheels. Those boys chasing you don't. That's cheating. Oh, this principal is stupid. She is the vice principal, and that's what she just said. He's getting chased literally by two bullies. He's pumping it down the hall, and she's telling him to slow down because you've got two wheels and they don't. Oh boy. I zip past the office hoping that the principal will see what's going on and stop it, but the only one behind the counter is the school secretary. She smiles and waves at me with her flower top pin. Hiya, Jamie. Good to have you back, hon. I jab a thumb up over my shoulder. Bullies! The secretary laughs and keeps waving. Oh, you're such a joker, Jamie. Have a nice day, hon. I pump powder. So he's wheeling it down the hall. Stevie and Lars starts flinging their textbooks at me. Two whiz past my ears like very thick frisbee. One lands on with a thud on the floor. The other veers left and bangs into the locker. Bang! But the books give me an idea. I need to seek sanctuary in the one place that the two bullies will never think to look, the library. Lars and Stevie never used books for anything but weapons, so I'm guessing they don't even know the school has a library. Around the corner, shove an open pair of glass. Around the corner, shove open a pair of glass where I can hide behind the bookcase filled with encyclopedias. I hear Stevie and Lars skid to a sneaker squeaking halt in the hallway. Skirt! Where'd he go? Says Stevie. I don't know, says Lars. What's this room here? Wow. I'm not sure, but it smells like books. Gross! Totally. Let's get out of here. I'm allergic to books. Me too. The two giants clumped down the hall, so he was right. Those idiots don't like libraries. He made it. So what's a library anyhow? I'm not sure, but I think it used to be the internet. Oh. I'm safe for now anyway. To be honest, I don't really use the library all that much, except for hiding. It really is a bully-free zone because no self-respecting bully would ever voluntarily come into a room with so many books on the shelf. I decide to stay a little longer and search the stacks. I'm hoping I can find a good book, something like Wheelchair Karate for Dummies. So now he's safe, found sanctuary in the library. Chapter 6, Showtime by the Sea. Hang on, guys, I need a little drink of water. I'm getting a little thirsty. Oh, excuse me. Chapter 6, Showtime by the Sea. I managed to avoid Stevie and Lars for the rest of the day. After school, I wanted to keep on avoiding Stevie, so I head down the boardwalk to Uncle Frankie's Good Eats by the Sea. As I'm rolling along, swerving through the flocks of squawking seagulls, I'm soaking up more than the sunshine. When you're a comic, you're always on the lookout for new material, especially if you're starring in a sitcom that needs ideas for 11 more episodes. For instance, there's this one guy I pass almost every day, Crazy Bob. That's what he calls himself. It's even printed on the sheet of cardboard he uses for his sign. Crazy Bob likes to stand on the boardwalk and warn everybody about the coming of an alien invasion. Oh, man. Ah, ha, ha. I always toss a quarter into Crazy Bob's tin cup. Hey, if the Galaxitrons show up next week, I want to be in good with their earthly ambassador. I roll into the diner and Uncle Frankie greets me with a flick of his yo-yo and a big smile. Hiya, kiddo. How was school? Weird, I say. So much has changed since we've been into the studio doing TV, the TV show. Really? says Uncle Frankie with a sly grin. Are you sure you're not the only one who's changed? Positive. I've been wearing the same puffy vest since forever. In fact, in the 1980s, the 1980s call said they wanted it back. Frankie laughs. You ready to take the stage? He asks. You bet. I roll to my usual spot behind the cash register just as Mrs. Sowski, one of our regulars, shuffles up to the counter. Hi, Mrs. S. Can I get you anything else? She knows I'm not talking about dessert or a cup of coffee to go. You see, after the horrible car crash that put me in my chair, I spent a lot of time at a hospital called the Hope Trust Rehabilitation Center. The doctors there really believe in laughter being the best medicine. So after the surgeries and in between physical therapy sessions, I spent my days reading joke books, watching comedy videos, and memorizing the routines of the world's greatest comedians. At the dinner, at the diner, I become our joke jukebox. Oh, cool. A customer picks a comedian. I play some of their greatest hits. How about a little George Clarence, says Mrs. Sowski. No problem. Beethoven was so hard of hearing he thought he was a painter. I hit the cash register keys to give himself a bada bing rim shot. Ching! That's dope. Mrs. Skowski smiles. So I give her a second helping of Carolyn. When cheese has its picture taken, what does it say? Isn't it a bit unnerving that the doctors call what they do practice? What? I hand Mrs. S her change. She plunks the coins into the tip jar. Thanks, Jamie. Good to have you back. Love your show. I love it too. But the show I do when I'm just horsing around at Uncle Frankie's, I love it even more. As the tip jar fills, the diner doors swing open, and in walks a lady with curly red hair. Out of the corner of my eyes, I can see Uncle Frankie slipping on his special gold-colored yo-yo, the flashy one with blinking LEDs inside. They swirl when he twirls. Oh, that's a cool yo-yo. Uncle Frankie pulls out Goldie only for special occasions. I'm thinking the lady with the curly red hair who just floated through the door is just that someone special. Ooh, wonder who the special person is. Here's the picture of the alien guy who is out on the pier every day. He's talking about the coming of aliens. In the speech bubble, it says, Citizens of Earth, be warned. Invaders from the planet Galaxtron will be arriving next Tuesday unless they take a potty break on the moon. Then it will be Wednesday. That's funny. Okay. And here's another picture. That's the lady he's telling the joke to. His uncle's in the back, look like he's cooking and spinning the yo-yo at the same time. Jerry Seinfeld, sometimes the road less traveled is less traveled for a reason. Ellen DeGeneres, people always ask me, were you funny as a child? Well, no. I was an accountant. Ah. Stephen Wright, if I melt dry ice, can I take a bath without getting wet? What a lovely question. Chapter 7, Heart on a String. In case you forgot, Uncle Frankie used to be the junior yo-yo champion of Brooklyn. He won a trophy shaped like a giant yo-yo, complete with a golden string. It made it easy to tug around the house. That's so cool. Uncle Frankie still knows all the flicks and flourishes. He can do walk the dog, rock the baby, barrel roll, Lindy loop, split the atom, poppin' fresh, and gravity pull without blinking an eye. For the lady with the curly red hair, he does them all simultaneously. Uncle Frankie finishes with a grand backward upside down through his legs spin of the yo-yo. without breaking any glasses or sending the silverware flying. Fantastic, Francis, says the lady. Thank you, Flora, says Uncle Frankie, taking the slight bow. I applaud. Flora looks over at me. You're Jamie, she says with a big smile. Yeah, I say, blushing a little. I'm still not used to strangers recognizing me. I guess you've been my TV. I guess you've seen my TV show, huh? No, sorry, I don't watch much TV. Too many books to read. But I have heard all about you. She turns to Uncle Frankie. Francis told me everything. How you won that comedy contest, how you helped him with after how you helped him out after the hurricane, how you helped out all sorts of charities, how you're the best nephew in the whole wide world. Okay, now I'm blushing so much my ears feel like a pair of red hot toaster coils. Flora, Mrs. Denning just moved to Long Beach, says Frankie. She's the new librarian at your school. Oh, cool. Seriously, I say? I was just in the library this morning. Really, says Mrs. Denning. I didn't see you. Good. Ha! Excuse me, I was sort of hiding. She smiles. Then you're doing a very good job of it. Uncle Frankie raises a single eyebrow and crinkles his forehead. Why were you hiding in the library, Jamie? All the toilet stalls were already full, I joked. Nice, nice, nice. Because I don't want to tell Uncle Frankie the truth about Stevie gunning for me again. After all, he's Stevie's uncle, too, and I don't feel like getting the whole family involved. Wow. Well, Jamie, says Miss Denny, you're welcome to hide out in the library anytime you like. And bring your friends, please. She does like it. She does it like any young man delivering his classic joke. Take my wife, please. Ah. Take her away. Please, please. That would be good if you could, Jamie, says Uncle Frankie. Maybe you, Gilda, Gaynor, and Pierce the library on a regular basis now that you guys are back in school for a few weeks. You should encourage the other kids to use the library more often too. Flora's got all sorts of books in there. My turn to arch an eyebrow. It's a library. Of course it has books. Yeah. But I can tell Uncle Frankie isn't using his brain right now. His heart is currently in charge. He is seriously crushing on Miss Flora Denning. Aww. I'd appreciate it if you and your friends could drop by, says Miss Denning. Me too, says Uncle Frankie, gesturing with his finger for more of a roller closer. What is it? Me too, says Uncle Frankie, gesturing with his finger for me to roll closer so he can tell me a secret. They might shut down the library. I guess I'm not the only one who hasn't been using the library at all that much lately. What can I say? I have an iPhone. I Google. Oh no, so the school library might be closed down because no one's really using it anymore. Coach Ball isn't a big fan, says Miss Denny. That's too bad. I say, who's Coach Ball? Your new principal, says Uncle Frankie. Our principal first name is Coach? He used to teach phys ed, explains Miss Denny. He likes being called coach instead of principal. He wants to convince the school board that our library space could be better used for other purposes. Oh no. Like what? I asked. She shrugs. Something without books, I guess. That's terrible. So their new principal is an ex-coach, and he wants to convince the school board to turn the library into something else other than a library. That's terrible. Here's the pictures for chapter 7. There's his uncle yo-yoing away trying to impress the librarian at his school because he likes her. I know it's not February, so why does it suddenly feels like Valentine's Day in here? That's what he's wondering. He likes her. He's trying to impress her with his yo-yoing skills. And here's the last picture of him picturing what the school library could possibly be turned into outside of it holding books. He's imagining it being a cafeteria storage, apparently. And the picture says, we should have thought about storing all of our pea soup in here years ago. Ugh, pea soup. Chapter 8, Basketball Court Gesture. I was bummed to hear that some people want to shut down the school library, but to be honest, it isn't a major concern of mine. Like I said, I never use the school library all that much, just the joke book section, so I don't have to worry about Miss Denning's dilemma, which is good because I have a ton of other stuff to worry about. Did I mention that we have to come up with ideas for 11 more Janie Funny episodes? Yes, the show has writers, but they're always asking me for ideas. I've been thinking it might be fun to do a show about me signing up for a murder ball. That's a little like wheelchair basketball. That's a little like wheelchair basketball, and it's insanely intense. Sounds fun though. So on Tuesday night, I go to a basketball game with Gilda, Gaynor, and Pierce, Long Beach Middle versus our rivals from Valley Stream, to do a little research. We, of course, get courtside seats, not because we're TV stars or celebrities. No, we're courtside because it's really, really, really hard. Okay, impossible for me to climb bleachers in my wheelchair. Climbing Mount Everest would be easier. At least mountains don't have steps. Their ramps are made out of rocks. So guess what I learned from Uncle Frankie? I say to my buds. What, says Gilda? A new recipe for deep fried bacon. No. The new principal and the school board are thinking about closing the library. Cool, says Gaynor. Are they going to like repaint it or something? No, they want forever and use the room for something else. That's ridiculous, says Gilda. We need the library. How do you think I learned so much about movies? It wasn't in math class, it was in the library. Uh-oh, dilemma. I enjoy the wide assortment of manga graphic novels, adds Pierce. You can't learn very much about alien civilization and supervillains in the history textbooks. Well, I say, I'm sure it's just a rumor. Even if not many kids use it, no way can you have a middle school without a library. Unless you give every kid a free iPad. Says Gaynor. Free iPads would be awesome. Vincent O'Neill, a kid who still cracks the corniest jokes this side of Nebraska, the corner of Cornhusker State, sees us sitting courtside and comes over to entertain us with his latest string of one-liners. When I first met Vincent, he used to tell everybody he was 10 billion times funnier than me. Now he just tells everybody the jokes he memorizes out of joke books. Looking forward to the b-ball game, Vincent asks, and I just know he's memorized a whole slew of basketball jokes off some website, and that's all Vincent needs to launch into his routine. Here we go. You know, Gilda, says Vincent, you remind me of Cinderella. What? Vincent ignores her death glare and bulldozes ahead into his punchline. Cinderella wanted to play basketball, but the coach kicked her off the team because she kept running away from the ball. Okay. Get it in the fairy tale Cinderella runs? We got it, says Gilda. Hey, you! Know what they call a Long Beach middle school basketball player with a trophy? Vincent goes on. Oh boy. I take the bait. What? A senior citizen. Wait a minute, guys. I have to read that last joke again. Oh, hey, Hey, you know what they call a Long Beach middle school basketball player with a trophy? A senior citizen. Boo! This school hasn't won a championship in 30 years. How can you not win? How can you lose for 30 consecutive years? This school hasn't won a championship in 30 years. And then it was for showing up and playing nice. Wow. That one actually makes me grin. Hey, Vincent, I say. Yeah? Gilda and I might brainstorm ideas for new Jamie Funny episodes tomorrow after school. Want to join us? Me? Help you guys? Writing jokes for Jamie Funny? Sure, it'll be fun. Gilda gives me a look and a knee nudge and maybe a toe stomp. I can't feel those. Yes, she thinks I'm insane, but well, I sort of feel sorry for Vincent. Just tell me when and where, he says, sounding super psyched. How about the library? That's a good idea, says Gilda. Nobody ever goes there, so we can have the place to ourselves. Awesome! You guys are the best! Vincent knocks knuckles with me and Gilda, then climbs the bleachers to tell his basketball jokes to somebody else. Thanks, I tell Gilda. You you owe me, she says with a sideways grin. Actually, you might owe me too. Maybe if we're lucky, the new librarian will come over and shush Vincent when he starts telling jokes. Wow. Nah, I said, I met her at the diner. She's too nice to shush. What, says Gaynor? How can you be a librarian if you don't tell kids to keep quiet? Shushing is totally in the job description. Shh, hush, 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 hush. They lean, they lean finger. What is it? They learn finger lip coordination at the library school. Shh, ush, 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 and a one, shh, and a two, shh, and a three, shh, shush. You guys, I like this book. Here's the pages for chapter 8. This book is really soothing and relaxing. Chapter 8's pictures for basketball court gesture. Look at all the kids in the crowd. I like how he draws the pictures of the students, all individualized, all have different personalities. And each drawing actually captures the essence of how you guys really look in real life when you're interacting. Hey Jamie, I saved you a seat. Thanks. I brought my own. Yay! That's funny because he's in a wheelchair. That was a cool joke. Here's the next page. The guys are all gathering around Vincent. He's sharing his jokes that he memorized from a computer or somewhere. Apparently, they don't seem to like him too much. You know why basketball players are such messy eaters? They dribble all the time. Say, if a basketball team were chasing a baseball team, guess what time it would be? 9:05. Get it? 5 players on the back. Well, in this chapter, he gives poor Vincent a chance. A chance to work together and try to come up with better jokes. Dude, that's funny. Oh, look, here's the other page. Remember your class. Remember, class, draw out the shh as long as possible for maximum effect. He's talking about how there's library in school where all they do is really emphasize being shh, practicing shh. That's funny. We are on chapter 9. More basketball jokes. Hang on, I need another sip of water. Maybe I'll drink a little more. Air's getting a little dry here. Excuse me. So how are you enjoying the story so far? I hope this book encourages you to read more of James Patterson books. And when you get older and into adult, I recommend more of his other books for adults. Those are good too. And adults, I recommend you read some of James Patterson's children's books and vice versa. Chapter 9, More Basketball Jokes. Speaking of jokes, I hate to say it, but the Long Beach Middle School basketball team is pretty horrible. Man, he's always opening up with sadness. And from what everybody tells me, they've been horrible for years. You know those teams that go out on tour to play against the Harlem Globetrotters? Their losing streaks is something like 2,495 games. The Long Beach Middle School Minnows have a losing streak that's closer to 3,000. Do 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 do. It'd be funny if it weren't so sad. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. We're down by 29 points in halftime. What? We're down by. Like my husband say in football, they'll have a blackout on the football screen if the team is losing so bad. They'll just black them out. Black them out. We're down by 29 points at halftime. The cheerleaders aren't leading cheers. They're too busy weeping into their pom-poms. I heard the speaker squeal with feedback and then a thump, thump, thump. A big barrel of a man with a flat top hairdo, wearing a tracksuit and squeaky black sneakers, marches out to the center court with a long microphone cable tailing behind him. He taps the microphone again to make sure it's working. Students, he booms into the bleachers. Sit down. Parents, too. Everybody immediately does what he said. The guy has that kind of voice. Plus, he's squinting and scowling and heavy mouth breathing into the microphone. He's like, oh, that's so sloppy. He reminds me of Darth Vader, but with a double chin and no neck. No! Woo! That's the guy who wants to shut down the library, whispers Gilda. Coach Ball, our new principal. People says Coach Ball pacing back and forth like a general. I'm your new commander-in-chief here at Long Beach Middle School. As such, I plan on ushering in a new era of sporting excellence. We will no longer be the laughing stock of Long Island interscholastic athletics. We will be champions. We'll be champions. God dang it, champions. There is a smattering. There is a smattering of terrified applause. Coach Ball breathes into the microphone again. Speaking of unwanted laughter, he's looking right at me. I'm not amused by the antics of a certain clique of smart mouth, smart Alex, smarty pants kids making fun of my middle school on national television. Great. He does that thing where he points with two fingers. He points two fingers at his eyes, flicks them around to point at me. I'm not impressed with smart aleck kids talking about my school on TV. He points at me and then flips them back to point at his eyes again. You are on my radar, Mr. Grimm. Word of advice, you do not want to be on my radar. Bad things happen if you are. Beep, beep, boom. What? a child, and on top of that, is he threatening a minor child in a wheelchair? This principal is crazy. I think he's intimidating a radar and some kind of guided missile. He puts his whistle to his lips and blows a shrill blast. Jonathan Cosgrove, front and center now! Can this get any worse? Stevie Cosgrove and Lars Jonathan join Coach Ball at the center court. They are both wearing chin strap headgear that looks like earmuffs made out of football pads. Oh my gosh. They're joining forces. This is not a good look, guys. I am so nervous for this boy. Ladies and gentlemen, says our new principal, we may not have the talent to build a football team. I have to start over. Ladies and gentlemen, says our new principal, we may not have the talent to field a football team or win at basketball, but we've definitely got the talent to put Long Beach Middle School in the state wrestling finals this year, especially in the heavyweight division. Oh my gosh. He clapped Stevie and Lars on the back. If you're tough enough and fast enough to join these two fine gentlemen, oh my gosh. I'm done. Those two bullies are not two fine young gentlemen. They're two bullies. If you're tough enough and fast enough to join these two fine gentlemen, come try out for the team. I'll be the coach and let me make this perfectly clear. I'll do whatever it takes to win. What happens when the basketball game starts up again? We lose. Oh my gosh. This boy's life is getting worse. Not only did he start out with one bully, a new bully joined the school. Now he's got two bullies. On top of that, he lives with one of the bullies because one of the bullies is his cousin. And on top of that, they have a new coach. And the principal for the school is an ex-coach and he is a bully. So all three have joined forces. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, 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 oh. He's like, and here's the coach. God dang it. Blah, blah, blah. F you, smart kids. It's about wrestling and being sweaty. We're gonna win. Hiya, 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 hiya. Oh, I can't hear anything in my headphones. That's not for music, son. That's for wrestling. Oh, boy. This is incredibly sad. We are on chapter 10, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I'll stop here. We've reached our first hour. We've read I'm Funny, School of Laughs by James Patterson, author of the #1 New York Times bestseller I'm Funny, and Chris Garbstein, chapters 1 through 10. Join me again as I probably read chapters 1 through 20 tomorrow, and that will give us our second hour. Go buy the book. Go check it out at the library. Go to Barnes and Nobles. Order it online. This book's been out a while. Let me check here the date. I'm checking the date so I can make a point. Okay. This book came out in 2017. The first edition came out April 2017. So it's been out a few years, so that means you could probably even have your parents order you a used copy online. Once again, I'm Elay, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy, reading to you the first 10 chapters of this wonderful book. I recommend it. I highly, highly recommend this book. I love you all. Thank you so much.